Welcome everyone. Today we are going to talk about something that affects every single person on this planet, willpower. Why do some people seem to have endless self-control, while others struggle to resist a piece of chocolate or skip the gym? The answer is not about being weak or strong. It is about understanding how your brain actually works. And once you understand that, everything changes. Let me start with a question. Have you ever promised yourself you would eat healthy, and then by the evening you were finishing a bag of chips on the sofa? Or maybe you planned to study for 2 hours, but after 20 minutes you were already checking your phone. If this sounds familiar, you are not alone. Scientists have studied this exact problem for decades. And what they found is both surprising and incredibly useful. Think of your willpower like a phone battery. In the morning, it is fully charged. Every time you make a decision, what to eat, what to wear, whether to check your messages, you use a little bit of that battery. By the evening, the battery is almost empty. This is why most people make their worst decisions at night. It is not a character flaw. It is simply biology. This idea was first studied seriously by a psychologist named Roy Baumeister in the 1990s. He called the phenomenon ego depletion. In his famous experiment, he brought people into a laboratory and put two things on a table in front of them, a bowl of fresh chocolate cookies and a bowl of radishes. One group was told they could only eat the radishes. The other group could eat the cookies freely. Then both groups were given a difficult puzzle to solve. The people who had to resist the cookies, who had used their willpower to say no, gave up on the puzzle much faster. Their mental energy was already drained. The cookie eaters kept going much longer. This was a revolutionary discovery. It told us that willpower is not just a personality trait. It is a limited mental resource, like physical energy. You can use it up. But here is where it gets even more interesting. If willpower is like a battery, can you recharge it? Can you make the battery bigger over time? The answer, according to science, is yes. And the methods might surprise you. The first method is glucose, in other words, food. When your brain is running low on willpower, it is also running low on blood sugar. This is the fuel your brain needs to make decisions and resist temptation. Studies have shown that drinking a small amount of something sweet can temporarily restore self-control. Think of it like plugging your phone in for a few minutes, it gives you just enough power to keep going. This is why you should never go grocery shopping when you are hungry. Your willpower battery is low, your blood sugar is low, and suddenly everything in the store looks delicious. You end up buying things you never planned to buy. The second method is sleep. This one is not surprising, but most people underestimate how powerful it is. When you sleep poorly, the part of your brain responsible for self-control, the prefrontal cortex, does not work properly. Think of the prefrontal cortex like the manager of a company. It is the part of your brain that says, "Wait, let's think about this carefully before we act." When you are tired, the manager goes home early. And without the manager, the emotional, impulsive parts of your brain take over. This is why tired people are more likely to eat junk food, lose their temper, and make poor financial decisions. A good night's sleep is one of the most powerful willpower tools available to you, and it is completely free. The third method is exercise. This one is truly fascinating. Regular physical exercise does not just strengthen your muscles. It actually strengthens your brain's ability to resist temptation. A study from Macquarie University in Australia asked a group of people who did not exercise regularly to start a 2-month exercise program. At the end of the 2 months, the researchers tested their self-control in completely unrelated areas, things like eating habits, study habits, and emotional control. The results were remarkable. The people who had exercised regularly showed significant improvements in self-control across all areas of their lives. Exercise had trained their willpower like a muscle. And that is a key idea: willpower is like a muscle. If you never use it, it stays weak. If you use it too much at once, it gets tired. But if you train it consistently, over time it gets stronger. But here is what almost no one talks about. The most powerful willpower strategy is not about strengthening your self-control at all. It is about designing your environment so that you need less willpower in the first place. This idea comes from a concept called choice architecture. The basic principle is this: the easier you make the right choice, the less mental energy you need to make it. Here is a simple example. If you want to eat less chocolate, do not rely on willpower to resist it. Instead, simply do not buy it. If the chocolate is not in your house, you do not need any willpower at all. The battle is already won before it begins. This sounds almost too simple. But it is incredibly effective. The world's most successful people do not have superhuman willpower. They have simply designed their lives to reduce the number of temptations they face. Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, famously wore the same style of outfit every single day: a black turtleneck and blue jeans. Why? Because he did not want to waste mental energy on small decisions like what to wear. He was saving his decision-making power for the things that truly mattered. Barack Obama, while he was President of the United States, said something very similar. He explained that he only wore gray or blue suits. "I'm trying to pare down decisions," he said. "I don't want to make decisions about what I'm eating or wearing, because I have too many other decisions to make." These are not strange habits. They are intelligent strategies based on a real understanding of how the human brain works. Now let us talk about something called implementation intentions. This is a scientific term, but the idea behind it is beautifully simple. It means making a very specific plan for when and where you will do something. Research by psychologist Peter Gollwitzer showed that people who made specific plans, "I will go to the gym on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m., were far more likely to follow through than people who simply said, "I want to exercise more." Why does this work? Because a specific plan removes the need to make a decision in the moment. When Monday morning arrives, you do not have to think about whether you feel like going to the gym. The decision was already made. You just follow the plan. Think of it like a GPS system. If you have a clear route programmed in, you just follow the directions. But if you have no route, every turn requires a new decision, and that uses up mental energy. Another powerful concept is what researchers call temptation bundling. This was developed by behavioral economist Catherine Milkman at the University of Pennsylvania. The idea is to combine something you need to do with something you enjoy. For example, you only allow yourself to listen to your favorite podcast while you are exercising. Or you only watch your favorite TV show while you are folding laundry. Suddenly, the difficult task becomes associated with pleasure. You actually start to look forward to it. This is clever because it does not fight against your desires. It works with them. Instead of using willpower to force yourself to do something unpleasant, you create a situation where the unpleasant thing comes with a reward attached. Let us also talk about the "what the hell" effect. This is one of the most important, and most relatable, concepts in willpower research. It was named by researchers Janet Polivy and Peter Herman, who studied people on diets. They noticed a pattern. Someone would be doing well on their diet, and then they would eat one cookie. And instead of stopping there, they would think, well, I've already broken my diet. What the hell, I might as well eat the whole box. One small failure led to complete collapse. The person did not fail because they lacked willpower. They failed because of how they thought about failure. The lesson here is powerful. Self-control is not about being perfect. It is about how quickly you recover from imperfection. The most successful people are not the ones who never slip up. They are the ones who, when they do slip up, say, "That's okay. One mistake does not erase all my progress. I will do better next time." This is sometimes called self-compassion, and research shows it is actually more effective for long-term behavior change than harsh self-criticism. When you are kind to yourself after a failure, you are more likely to try again. When you punish yourself, you are more likely to give up entirely. There is one more concept I want to share with you, and this one is perhaps the most surprising of all. It is called cognitive reappraisal, and it is about changing how you think about temptation itself. In a famous experiment, children were given a marshmallow and told they could eat it now, or wait 15 minutes and receive 2 marshmallows. This is known as the Stanford Marshmallow Test, conducted by psychologist Walter Mischel. The children who waited the longest were not the ones who stared at the marshmallow with intense concentration, fighting their desire. They were the ones who found ways to think about the marshmallow differently, imagining it was a cloud, or a picture, rather than a real, delicious treat. By changing how they thought about the temptation, they reduced its power over them. They did not need more willpower. They needed a different perspective. This technique works for adults too. When you feel the urge to check your phone during work, instead of fighting the urge directly, try reframing it. Tell yourself, that notification will still be there in an hour. Right now, I am choosing to focus on something more important. You are not denying yourself. You are making a conscious, empowered choice. So what does all of this mean for your everyday life? It means that willpower is not a fixed gift that some people have and others do not. It is a skill, a system, and a science. You can protect your willpower by making important decisions in the morning when your mental energy is highest. You can recharge it with good sleep, regular exercise, and proper nutrition. You can reduce how much you need it by designing your environment wisely. And you can train it gradually, like a muscle, by taking on small challenges consistently. And perhaps most importantly, you can stop being so hard on yourself when you fail. Every person who has ever achieved something difficult has also failed along the way. The difference is not that they had more willpower. The difference is that they understood how willpower works, and they used that knowledge to keep going. Willpower is not about being a perfect machine. It is about being a thoughtful human being who understands their own mind. And now, you are one step closer to doing exactly that.